to Site Explainer, the easiest way to create beautiful documentation for your website and API. This is our doc editor. It's pretty simple to use. On the left-hand side, you have your page elements like this heading, text, etc. On the right-hand side is the instant preview. So any changes I make here are instantly shown here. You can add new items using this bar here. This is the heading item. You can type your heading here and select between H1, H2, H3, H4. Next is the text item. Best suited for long text. Of course, Markdown is fully supported. Plus, you can also use some basic HTML tags to insert icons, images, etc. like this. This is an alert box, useful for drawing attention to important stuff. This is a Jumbotron, great for creating cover pages, which I'll tell you about shortly. Use the button items to link to other pages or external sites. This sections item is pretty powerful because it lets you arrange your text into columns or rows. For example, here's how you would create a 3-column text, but you can add as many sections as you want. Use this layout option here to switch between horizontal, vertical, and zigzag layouts. The list group item is great for adding frequently asked questions, list of features, etc. because it's pretty easy to sort the list or remove any items as needed. The tab group is an amazing way to present information when there are lots of alternatives, like in this example. Now for the two most interesting elements. This code item will let you add code samples in your doc. Just paste your code here, select the programming language, and as you can see, a fully syntax highlighted code is shown here. This option here lets you show your code in tabs in case you want to show your code samples for the same thing in multiple languages. This is the RESTful API item. If your website has a RESTful API, you will find this really useful. For this demo, I'll use examples from regress.in. So first, we need to specify your API info. I'll just copy-paste the values from our example API site. Once your API is created, you can use any of your docs. This is a GET request. I'll just copy the path from here. Now these are your request variables. It looks like we're supposed to send the user ID in this request. So I'll specify the path parameter, user_ID in our path. Then we will add the same path parameter in our request. Name, user_ID, type number. This is the default value, which is 2 in the example, and finally a description. Now for the response. As you can see, there are 2 different responses for this request. A 200 OK response when the user is found, and a 404 not found response when there is an error. So we'll add them both here. Finally, this is the most interesting part. Enabling the API Explorer will add a Try It button to your example so that users can actually try out the examples in their browsers without having to write any code. So let's try it. First, we'll enter user_ID 2, and sure enough, we see our OK response. Now let's check with user_ID 23, and as expected, we get an error. Finally, these 2 items are for adding images and YouTube videos. You can customize the appearance of your video using these options here. Please make sure to save your doc from time to time using the Save button here or by pressing Ctrl+S. Once you're happy with the doc, you can either publish it or you can download it as a static HTML file and upload it to your GitHub repo or S3 bucket. The items you see here is basically just a huge JSON object. So advanced users can download the JSON object, edit it using any text editor, and import it later. Very useful if you wish to create these items using a command line script or automate it. Now for the most important part. As you can see, so far we have created only a doc file. Generally, you would want to create some sort of website where you can put together all of your documents with an easy user navigation. So for that, we have this option to create mini sites from your documents. In the next tutorial, I'll show you how to create these mini sites.